Hello, my name is Josie. I'm a youth services librarian at Deschutes Public Library, and today we're going to do an art project together, and I'm calling it a Bumblebee Checkerboard. So we are going to do that project with a couple of supplies that you hopefully have around your house. You're going to need some very basic paper. You can use any shape or size you have. I happen to have funny shaped paper, but if you have a full sheet, that's great. If it's lined paper, that's a-okay. You can use whatever you have. If you feel like upcycling something, you can use an old piece of paper that's already been printed or drawn on. It's perfectly okay. It'll just be a different project. So you'll need paper, and you'll need a pen or a pencil or something to write with. You can use a crayon. Anything you have around the house is great. And those are the only two things you need. To make the project a little different, you could use colors, so crayons, paints, markers, colored pencils, anything like that, just to make it a little more colorful. But if you don't have those things around the house, you can also just use your same original pen to do patterns. So I want you guys to picture a bumblebee or a honeybee or maybe even a fly flying around outside. Now, they don't go from one side to the other in a straight line. They tend to go more in a looping or zigzagging or curlicue kind of direction because they're going from flower to flower to flower to pick up pollen. So if they're going from flower to flower to flower, they're not going to go in that straight line. And what I want you to do today is go ahead and draw the path that they might take. And you don't have to put too much thought into it. You don't have to be exact. It's just going to be a lot of looping curlicues on your piece of paper. So you're going to take your pen and take your paper and think about those curlicues. Now, one thing that's not going to be scientifically accurate, or well, maybe it is you're going to start and end at the exact same spot. So if you start on one side of the paper and you curlicue all the way to the other, you're gonna have to curlicue on back to that original spot. Maybe that's the hive. So maybe it's going from the hive to all the different flowers, picking up all the different pollen, and then coming back to the hive again. And if you wanna make the buzzing sound while you do this, you're more than welcome. I like sound effects a lot. So I'm just gonna show you my piece of paper. It's actually a little easier if I put it on this side. I'm gonna show you my piece of paper. I'm gonna take my pen, and I'm gonna start down here at the bottom. And my bumblebee is going to go curlicue across, so maybe over here and back down. So we met right at the same spot. I've got some weird curlicues going on there. I'm not sure if this is my favorite one. If you don't like your first one, you can go ahead and do a second one. But I'm going to show you a little bit with my other colored pen. So I have a purple pen too. What you would do is go ahead and find the different shapes, and you're going to color them in if they are not right next to each other. So you have to find one to start with and then go for alternating shapes. So if I wanted to color in this one, I would go ahead and color it in purple. I bet you guys will color in better than me, but it's kind of no fun to watch somebody else color. So I'm just going to color it out a little bit. Now, I don't want to color in the places that are touching it right next to it, but the ones that are alternating are diagonal. So that means I would go ahead and color in this one. And again, I know you're going to color a lot better than me, so I'm not going to make you watch me color. I'm going to show you some examples that I did earlier. So here is one example. I just went ahead and did that curlicuing line and then colored in the alternating ones. So this purple doesn't touch this green, it's diagonal. And this orange doesn't touch this yellow, it's diagonal. This yellow doesn't touch this orange, it's diagonal. So it's alternating, so you get big white spots and big colorful spots. So that's just one example of how it could be. I did another one where again, it's the white spots and the color spots, the white spots and the color spots. They're alternating, so it makes a different kind of piece of art, just kind of some abstract art that is very colorful and very alternating. This one, I threw in some black polka dots because I like polka dots. So if you feel like decorating it more than you already have, you totally can. And remember, I said you don't have to do colors. You can just do pattern. So with this original one, instead of doing the colors, I could make this polka dots, and this one could be stripes. So if you don't have all the colors around in the house, you can totally just do patterns. Now, one other thing you can do with this, if you feel like it, if you have masking tape or some sort of tape that doesn't permanently stick, you can go do this on the sidewalk too. Now, those aren't going to be quite as curly-Q because tape is a straight line, but you can do it with straight lines and be very geometric, and then color it in with chalk. So if you happen to have those, sidewalk and chalk and some tape, you can go ahead and do it that way. So lots of different artistic interpretations of this one. I call it the Bumblebee Checkerboard. So go ahead and try it and have some fun. Feel free to send us your results at the library if you make something beautiful or just make something fun. Thanks so much for joining us today and have a wonderful day.